Hello, it's that time again. It's Thursday. As I said, I'm here. Well, I'll tell you where I am. I'm at St Mary's College, Westella. Talk about Westella. You know the bloke. Nobody has a bad word against him. He's got a good word. Please welcome Chris Spinks.
Cheers,
Hi,
Steve.
Chris.
How are you doing? You alright?
Not so bad. Holiday time. You've just come back from Benidorm, I believe.
Yeah, struggling. It took me a week to get over it, to be fair. All the lads have absolutely ruined me on my stag do, so yeah, just going back down to earth.
You could have brought the good weather with you.
Yeah, we had a good few days, about 28 degrees, so...
How many days sober?
Yeah, not 1 minute.
That's what it's all about. Right, Westella.
Yes.
Last season, your first season as manager.
Yeah.
Mid-table, semi-final of the East Riding Cup.
Yeah.
Our class is a good season. As a manager yourself, do you think it was a good season for yourself?
No, I mean, obviously getting to the East Riding Senior Cup semi-final was sort of like the highlight of the season, to be fair. And obviously we got there through, I don't know, a bit of a default, a bit of a mix-up at Ferriby, which obviously everybody got to know about. But yeah, in terms of the full season, it was more disappointing for me, really. Obviously I took the job at Westella last year. Obviously I'd presented a 2-year project to Westella, and they was happy with it. Obviously one of the big things was moving back to Hilltop after ground sharing with the likes of Barton and obviously Hall Road. Obviously Westella were playing in the North East counties when I was at Hall Road, so I was very familiar with obviously what was going on there. And I said obviously I wanted to take them back to Hilltop and sort of establish Westella to been sort of a good local side again. I think they've lost a mojo over the last few seasons. So yeah, I mean last year was a big massive learning curve for me. It was one of them things I've sort of jumped into. Management's something I've always wanted to go into as well, but obviously I've maybe done it a little bit early, try to get myself a bit of experience and get on the ladder, so to speak. So yeah, I mean it was disappointing on paper with the players that we had. You know, realistically we should have been up there, and for one reason or another, lack of commitment and you know, attitude and all the other things that come with it. You know, it was disappointing, really, the league position. But yeah, I mean obviously the Senior Cup was okay, and we did all right against Bryn in the Senior Cup.
They did rather. Talking about Hilltop,
Yes.
I heard rumours, but I don't know how true they are. And even when I was visiting there, are they strong because it was supposed to be closing down?
No, not at all. Obviously, as everybody's probably aware, they're building lots of houses around there. So with that obviously comes a community, and I believe there is things in place in terms of grants and receiving monies from the government to develop Hilltop, and that's been ongoing for a number of years. You know, as a club, you know, we do strive, and we are looking to sort of push ourselves back towards the North East counties. When that's going to be, I couldn't tell you. But from my previous meetings with the board and the committee, you know, they've promised that they are trying their best with Hilltop to make sure, you know, they get back to where they want to be, which is North East counties ultimately.
Talking North East counties with Jumbo Premier League, I've talked about it to other managers about no go because the ground. Obviously, Pocklington obviously can get a stand. Yeah. Beverley can get the floodlights. Yeah. Do you think in time any more of the teams will go into the NCL?
Yeah, hopefully. You know, obviously that's what we want. We want every local team to be sort of, you know, heading that way. And if local teams are, then obviously you need to ask a question. You know, great for Beverley. You know, played there last year at Norwood, and it's fantastic playing surface. Probably one of the best in the area. You know, I understand that they're putting a stand up there, so you know they're going in the right direction, and seem to be doing it right down at Beverley. So fair play to them. And obviously Pocklington as well. I feel a bit sorry for Pocklington because I think they're in a bit of a predicament with the houses around there, planning permissions for stands, etc. So I'm not totally sure what's going on, but I do know that that's where they're striving. They want to get into the North East counties. So.
About it has to be an early kick-off because of the late
yes.
start Pocklington.
Yeah, there's all sorts of restrictions there. You know, and I'm sure you'll know the early kick-off times, etc., which are affecting them at the minute.
So next season at Westella, what is actually your role at Westella?
So my role next, obviously this coming season, will be to assist Palms, assistant manager, and predominantly just concentrate on getting myself back playing. I'm going to get a good pre-season, which obviously I couldn't really do last year with everything. Obviously I had to sort out off the pitch, players, etc. You know, moving back to Hilltop, you know, took a lot of our time up. Sponsors, stuff like that. So realistically, we've sort of built a bit of a base in terms of sponsors and stuff. You know, we've got our good sponsors in Eddie Beadles, who have signed on again for another year, and obviously VIP Energy, who I'm involved with. You know, they're going to continue their support as well. So yeah, just for me, assist Palms, and you know, at the end of the day, the buck don't stop with me anymore. It stops with Palms.
Was this the end of the season thing, or was it talked about more or less near the end of the season about bringing a manager in to help you this coming season?
Yeah, I think obviously it was difficult last year. You know, ultimately I was sort of doing it on my own. I must mention Paul Sorrell, who you know, was a godsend to me last year. Without Paul, I would have probably ended up wrapping it in halfway through the year. You know, Paul kept us going. He had a great relationship with the boys, and yeah, he was there for me really in terms of when I was on the pitch, and you know, did his best to help out in every way possible. And
why was it Palms? Was he?
So Palms came about. He actually approached me, and we had a bit of a chat. 5-6 games to go, back end of last season, and you know, it was something that he was sort of like looking into, you know, getting back into management, with him doing bits with Skullcoats, I believe, and obviously he'd gone to Beverley and played a little bit at Beverley. He'd had a bit of an injury himself, so he said, you know, obviously this coming season he wanted to solely focus on management, find a club and sort of put his stamp on things, which, you know, fair play to Palms. He's come in, you know, everything's new to him at Westella. He's never been involved with Westella, so he's sort of learning the ropes of how Westella works himself. But one thing with Palms is he attracts players. He's very well respected in the area. He's played at a very, very good level himself. So, yeah, Palms is a great appointment, and I think he's a great guy to obviously move us forward.
And I noticed Martin Jones.
Yeah,
Jonesy.
Jonesy, yeah, he's a great kid. He's Martin. You know, and I'll be honest with you, it was all Palms is dealing with there. I mean, I think they've been together at Live Supplies, so you know, they've built a bit of a relationship between themselves there.
Do you think you're in at the right time with Billy Gill going to?
Yeah, we might have you know, spoke to Martin at the right time. You know, ever since we've sat down with Martin, you know, look, he's you know, the whole signing situation, whether you do it now or whether you wait till the 1st of July, whatever it is, Martin had given us his word. And I think Robert mentioned it in his. You go on players' words. Yeah. You know, and if it turns, it turns. But you know, we took Martin on, and you know, he listened to what we had to say and where we want to go and what we expect from him, and he took it on the chin, and you know, he's ready for a good season.
Very good. And coming back to one of your favourite grounds as a person you've been to.
Oh, in playing wise, there's a few. I mean, obviously, Bridtown is always pristine. Pitch, playing surface there is always immaculate, and they always do things right down there, from top to bottom. So I'd have to probably say Brid, to be fair, keeping it local as well.
And what was your best game last season, apart from obviously the semi-finals? A bit disappointed, but playing at that Way West.
Nah, our best game last year was probably Beverley Town's homecoming at Norwood. I'll get a few dislikes, I reckon, when people listen to this. But yeah, we went there with a bare 11, and we ended up beating them 4-0. First game back at Norwood, which, you know, again, that was in the Senior Cup, so it was good to go there and do that.
Yeah, and I noticed on the Facebook you've got 3 of your regular players signing up for next season. Any more?
Yeah, again,
players, you know, coming back.
Look, we've spoke to quite a few players, you know, existing, which there is some serious talent around Westella, not just with what we've got currently, but the under-19s from Simon Wares last year. A few of their boys have obviously committed and wanted to come down pre-season. So we had very, very good numbers last night at training. With Palms has got us in early. He wants to, you know, obviously set his mark on things and you know, obviously get people into, you know, doing things how he wants to do it. So yeah, we had ample numbers last night, and a lot of them were new faces, which is good to see. But yeah, existing players, you know, the likes of Petchy, and everybody knows Alex Wood and his ability. You know, we just need to get them sort of players that maybe had an off season last year and have, you know, been plodding along, if you like. We need to get the best out of them, and I think Palms can do that.
Right, I'd like to say thanks very much for joining us. I'm just going to get this because get us like bothing.
Yeah.
And one or more things that I want to say to you as I'm on camera.
Yeah.
I haven't forgot your £5. I've forgotten it now.
Yeah.
But I will remember it.
No, it's not a problem.
Bring it with me. Not just for the camera. I'm not once for borrowing £5, but this gentleman here next to me went to the Westella semi-final against Bridlington. I left my wallet at home, and not a penny on me. The East Riding Council wouldn't. Excuse me. The East Riding Football Team Company wouldn't let me in. Obviously, he let me the £5. Well, £4 to get in and £1 for a coffee. I haven't forgot it. Before you all mention it. So I know certain of the people were on the site, but I'd like to thank Chris once again.
No, cheers, Dave.
And all the best for the new season.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Cheers. There goes Chris Palmer, of course. Coming up next, I ain't got very far to go, same place. Division 1 of the Premier League, St Mary's football team are going to enter it. I've got the blokes who are going to win it all. Ricky Spencer, tell a word with you. I'll be back shortly. Thanks for joining.